Okay, we're going to get started now. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming to this call this evening, the Dynamic Trio. This is a very special occasion, I think, every Thursday because we get an opportunity to talk about a dynamic Diamond Award winning platform that has the ability to change lives and to change the state of the economy worldwide. And what we're going to do is we have our illustrious leader here with us, Mr. Mark T. Stevens, and he is a financial expert extraordinaire. And what we're going to do is we're going to get started, and we're going to start out with Mark giving us his wisdom. He always starts out with wise advice and suggestions for us in order to help us improve our situations all the way around, financially, health wise, mentally. And so that always kicks off the card of the call, puts us on a good note to start it off. So, Mark, the mic is in your hands. Let me give a little bit of background before before you take the mic. Mark is a financial expert extraordinaire. He's a financial planner and a business consultant who for many years has been teaching people how to have successful businesses working from home and benefiting from the tax advantages that it offers. His vast year of experience include being the head of the banking division for a nonprofit organization called Operation Hope out of Los Angeles, California, and the co-host of a television show called Just Between Us at Comcast Studios in Wildwood, New Jersey. And recently, he's been teaching financial literacy to the underserved communities in Washington metropolitan area of our nation's capital and administrating over a company called the Dynamic Trio, which is Fund Me 247, Feed Me 247, and Fund Me to Infinity. 3 Diamond Award-winning crowdfunding platforms. His famous motto is, I believe that the best way to make money is to help others make it first. Serving other people is one of the most rewarding things a person can do for others. There is a difference in being broke and being poor. Being broke is a temporary economic condition, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind and a depressed condition of the spirit. And we must vow to never, ever be poor again. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mark T. Stevens, President, CEO, Crowdfunding Guaranteed, LLC. Mark?
Thank you, Carolyn. Peace and blessings, everyone. I was wondering what I was going to talk about this evening, and because, again, I stay concerned about this COVID-19 pandemic, and I think about people that are not eating, the kids. I think about people who have lost jobs and will never get them back, companies that have gone out of business, never coming back. And then I think about something I'm not very fond of, and that's politics and what's going on in our country, and they're not getting anything done. And I do know this, people can get done what they want to get done when they want to get it done. And when people are suffering, you have to move your own self out of the way and get it done. So with that being said, my question to everyone is, are you excited about the future? Because we here at the Dynamic Trio are. But again, I still want you to think about some things, because those of us that are here and some that are not here, you've survived 100% of your bad days. Think about the bad days that you've had in the past, and you may still have some in the future, but the fact is that you survived it. So the other thing is that what we need to do, and what I want to encourage everybody to do, but you're going to have to think about this when I say this, I want you to be who you needed when you were younger. I want you to be who you needed when you were younger. Now, you know, you got to think about that one. Because here's another thing. A winner, we talk about winners. You know, winners never quit and quitters never win. So to me, a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. And I never like to give up because I don't like to lose. But I mean, it happens sometimes, but you just take it in stride, but you keep on dreaming, because a dreamer is a person that never gives up. So what do? You keep going. Why? Why do you keep going? You keep going because everything will come to you at the perfect time. Think about what I said. You keep going and going, just like that bunny rabbit with that battery in his back on TV. You keep going and going and you're going, and everything will come to you at the perfect time. So think about this too. Think about this. The real champions in life, everybody wants to be a champion. They're about to end up the basketball season now, and a champion will be crowned. Everybody wants to be a champion, but the real champions in life commit to a purpose bigger than themselves that does not financially benefit them. Let me say that again. To me, the real champions in life commit to a purpose that's bigger than themselves and does not financially benefit them. Remember, you heard me say on a number of occasions that if you want to build wealth, there are 3 ways to get to wealth. You have to find out where the world is headed and get there first. You have to stop spending more money than you make, and you have to create something that benefits everybody else in the world. That kind of goes with what I just said. See, because here's the proof. A broke mind needs proof. A wealthy mind just needs an opportunity. Let's say that again. A broke mind, and think about the people you talk to, you try to share your opportunity with, and people you try to help, and you can't help those that don't want to be helped, but you still try anyway, because a dreamer never gets up. And my dream is that everybody becomes wealthy and free. So a broke mind needs proof. A wealthy mind needs an opportunity. Very simple. But here's what you have to do. You have to trust the process. Everything has a process, has a system to it. And you have to trust that, because really the final thing is this. First of all, you don't get rich working for corporate America in most cases, because they don't play fair. And I told you what they do. But one way to get, and again, riches, residual income creates happiness, but I would prefer to be wealthy, because rich people still work for people, wealthy people don't. But the way you're going to get wealthy, you have to become an entrepreneur. What's an entrepreneur? Very simple. An entrepreneur, at least in my book, is someone who jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down. They jump off a cliff and build a plane on the way down. In other words, I don't lose. So that's what I want to, I came up with to share with you this evening. And hopefully you take that to heart. Use what you can use, and whatever you can't use, you can put it in file 13, but just keep peace and blessings, everyone. Back to you, Carolyn.
Well, I can use all of it, Mark. Thank you so very, very much for those wise tips. And he's absolutely right. The only way that you can become wealthy, the only way, in fact, the only way that you can become financially empowered to any extent is that you must be an entrepreneur. You got to go into business for yourself. This country is a business. I don't know if you guys know that or not. I'm sure that, Mark knows it and James knows, most of you know it. I'm sure you do. But I'm reminding you, this company is this country is a business. It was devised and created to breed businesses and to give perks and to give benefits to businesses. That's just the way it is. It wasn't designed to just make individuals rich, because if that was the case, then they would be teaching us they would be having in secular schools business courses and entrepreneurs business courses to encourage entrepreneurs in secular schools. But you hear now, maybe some of you have experienced it where you were in high school or even in junior high school. Maybe some of you, had some, and I mean business entrepreneur courses. I don't mean mathematics. Okay. I mean business entrepreneur breeding courses, and they do not teach it. If you get it, you've got to get it from someplace else. And we weren't getting it from our churches way back. So where were we supposed to get this entrepreneur spirit from? But we're getting it now because it's being available. It always, our Creator always makes things available to us when we ask for them, when we're ready to receive them. And so, this entrepreneurship now, each one of you are here. You're in the best place to become a successful entrepreneur, a business person, to create your own business. The taxes, you get better tax breaks. You end up getting more money back from your income taxes, so you don't pay as much taxes as a person would who doesn't have an office in their own home, or who doesn't use their car as a write-off when they go different places for business, or you don't write off lunches when you talk about business. You don't get those breaks. So so the point is that if we really want to see our lives change, our finances stepped up, then we need to make sure that our business plan and our business statements are in order. Okay? And I want to suggest to each one of you all to get QuickBooks. I'm telling you that because, I have QuickBooks as well. And QuickBooks is an excellent way that I find for the novice, for me, now maybe for someone who's more, an accountant and a trained accountant, or, whatever, it might be something too basic for them. But QuickBooks is a good way of watching how you are spending your money and, looking at how much money you're spending, staying on top of your own personal trends, spending trends, looking at your liabilities and how they compare to your assets, looking at your losses, all these kinds of things. QuickBooks is very simple. There are some upgraded forms, but that would be a good way if you're a business person to keep track. So when you are ready to submit your taxes, you could just turn your QuickBooks formats, just print it off of your computer and give it to your accountant, and they can go from there. So that's one suggestion that I have. All right, so the dynamic trio is a grand way for you to be in business with yourself. And one of the reasons why, for yourself, well, one of the reasons why is because it is based on a crowdfunding methodology, and crowdfunding now is an over a $35 billion industry. And they expect it to grow to $300 billion by the year 2025. And so that lets you know that it's going to escalate in a fast growth within the next, I'd say 4.5 years, because we're almost maybe a little over 4.5 years, because we've only got, this is October, we've only got 3 months left for the year is out. And isn't that amazing how time goes by so quickly? But so really, basically, we've only got basically 4 years and 3 months before that $300 billion bubble, before it, grows. So basically what you're doing when you are getting involved with a crowdfunding system that is as powerful as ours is you are getting ahead of the trend. You're finding out what people need and you're getting there first. The wind is at your back. And so you will be successful if you set up your foundation now. And so most of you here are setting up a foundation. And we are in the process of doing a variety of things to help you so that you could become even more successful. But these 3 Diamond Award-winning fundraising platforms are very powerful. And that's Feed Me 247, Fund Me 247, and Fund Me to Infinity. They're integrated and automated, proven to work, proprietary wealth platforms. That means that we created it. There is no other system like ours. Not exactly like ours. We might have some copycats, but they don't have all of what we have in our system. So these platforms enable you to easily fulfill your dream projects in year 2020. And the integration that was created by bringing these programs together in such a way, we call it the reaction, the power that is given off from it as it is escalating, is called synergy. And so we're going to show you what synergy is like very soon, very shortly. But the key thing that these platforms enable you to do is they financially empower you. They give you the power to build wealth. They give you they financially empower you and give you the keys to open the door to your freedom. We've been here for, I'd say this program has been in existence for 3 years. And so we're going to be going on, we started I think in 2017, or was it 2018? So that might be 2 years, 2018. We're going into the 3rd year. One of the things that's really important when you pick a business to set up and to become involved with is that business be long-term. And so our programs, our platforms are designed for longevity, to continue going and going. And we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for the long run because we know that's what it takes for people to become aware of it, to become introduced to it, for it to become successful. Sometimes things, start off fast, then they slow up, and then they go off fast again. And so in order for it to take hold, we have to have longevity in the equation. So we're opening the door for your freedom, financial freedom, and so that you can escape the chains of debt. You are no longer enslaved by what? Debt and poverty. Okay? So, and one of the things that we say to you about business, and this is something that a quote that was given to me by Robert Anthony. It says, you can only have 2 things in life: reasons or results. Notice, reasons don't count. And what that means is that when you decide to go into business, that you don't want to have reasons why it doesn't work or excuses why you don't want to do what it takes to make it work. Those things don't count. They don't help you get the results that you want. And so what we aspire to do we've set out here a treasure map. We call it a treasure map to success. It's to show you how our 3 platforms can guide you to realizing your dreams. And we've done this on various levels. We have one aspect of it that we address, which is on Mondays at 7:00 p.m. and it's called the Millionaire Project. And it addresses the mindset. And, you know, a lot of people don't think that that's really necessary to address. And that's fine, because that's fine for them. If they don't think it's necessary, then it isn't necessary for them. But, you know, we're following a pattern. We're following an example of people that we consider, you know, viable, people that have some integrity, millionaires, and we're looking at their lifestyle. And so we're looking at also the universal laws that have been given to us that God has put into action to enable us to follow that, so that we can stay under this covenant and be protected, and he can empower us financially as well. These things were set up a long time ago. And as long as we stay within the restraints of these immutable laws, then, you know, we will see ourselves flourish. And so we talk about these things on Mondays. Here on Thursdays, we talk about the comp plan. We talk about the concept and how these platforms were built. So that way you get a full rounded view of what we're all about as a company. You get a view about what our philosophy is and what our intentions are and what these platforms are about and what they can do for you. And so we say that all 3 of these platforms are part of a collaborative project created to cultivate economic wealth. We are a cooperative, and a cooperative in effort that we bring members into our system. We are a community, and we function as a community. And so this crowdfunding platform as a community will enable you to be able to reach out, and if you bring other people into the community, to be able to be successful and to help other people be successful. And we do this by, 1, providing a platform to exchange donations. 2, tools for educating members on crowdfunding and how to raise funds for their projects. And 3, providing products to facilitate the financial generation process. So all these things that we provide to you so that you will have the power to write your own check. You put yourself in a position to prosper when you take advantage and use these platforms that we make available to you. And this check is your own. You can write your check for whatever it is that you want to receive. Let me tell you something. I talked to you guys about writing a check. And writing a check is writing this check and putting this check up on your refrigerator and on the mirror or wherever else you could see. Keep your goals set in front of your eyes so that you can keep yourself and keep your mind focused, and, you know, keep reminders of it, keep visions of what it is that you want. That's how our minds function. Our minds are visual. Our imagination needs some kind of stimulus in order to help us to create. And that's the part of our makeup. There's a spiritual part of our makeup, psychological, mental part of our makeup, and physical part of our makeup. And all of it goes in to make us who we are. And so the more you integrate all of these things together, the more you'll realize. And let me tell you, that works. Now, maybe some of you haven't tried it, but I suggest you try it and see what happens. And I'll be waiting for your testimony. And let me ask you a question. If you had a cure for cancer, would you share it with others who were suffering with it, or would you keep it to yourself? Now, I venture to say that most of us in this room has seen cancer, seen the effects and how devastating it can be on the person that it has infested, or on the family who is attending to the person, or on the community, loved ones, friends. Cancer is very hard. And so I'm sure that you being as a compassionate people, you would give them the cure. Well, poverty is a social cancer, and it robs the individuals and communities and countries of joy and peace of mind. It can be just as life-threatening as physical cancer. It is, because poverty causes people to commit suicide. Poverty causes crime. Poverty causes physical abuse. Poverty causes people to have low self-esteem. And poverty just overall causes the person's quality of life to be at a low ebb. And so what we want to do is eradicate poverty. That's what our focus is on. And we understand that in order to eradicate poverty, we have to have a solution. We have to have something, a solution that's going to be international, a solution that's going to be user-friendly so that everyone could be able to use it, and a solution that would give great results so that we can get success stories and people can actually get the financial and the relief from poverty that they're looking for. And so we have that solution within our, what we call our cooperative, in these 3 platforms of the Dynamic Trio. Now let's take a look at cooperative and see why a cooperative is so important, the community approach. Why is it so key into changing the situation that people experience in society, in different pockets of this country? People living different. Some people are living so poorly you could never imagine. And right now it's even more difficult because of the COVID virus. And it has caused people to become sick, it has caused people to die, but it's also caused a devastating effect on our economy. And that's why it's so important for us to really have our businesses set up in a row, because with crowdfunding, when we learn how to depend upon one another as a cooperative, we learn how to become self-sustaining. So those things like COVID virus wouldn't have such a devastating effect on those people and on us, because why? We already have our stability built in to our community. So let's talk about economic cooperation. That involves a community focus on a common goal where everyone benefits in proportion to their participation. Now, if you look at this picture, you see a picture of the Amish. And I talk about this a lot because I've had experience coming up around the Amish community. I was only 5 minutes, maybe at the most 10 minutes at the max. And 10 minutes is on the long end of the time. But I used to watch them in their buggies, horse and buggies, and dressed in their native and their, in their regular uniforms and forms of dress. And I would be amazed at how a community outside could exist outside of the city where I lived at. Nothing like, they didn't accept anything from us other than, money for their skills. And basically, it would be where we would go, like they built houses. And you see there, they were building a barn. And whenever someone needs something in their community, they get together and they make it for that person. They built that barn for somebody. They don't have to go to the city and get an architect or get a plumber or get an electrical engineer, all that kind of stuff. They have those skills in their community and they apply it to help one another. And so that's the reason why they're so self-sustaining and living so very comfortably. And I even see, I used to go to their auctions and to their they call it, I guess, I forgot what they call it in particular, but their markets, I'll say for a better word, and where they would sell their wares. And one of the things that I liked was that their cheeses and all of their foods and their pies and everything, I felt so comfortable in eating their food because there was no chemicals in it. All their food is natural, and their animals, their cheeses are made from the milk from their goats and their cows, and their cows are taken very good care of because I see them out in the pasture. I know what they're eating. So that's one of the things that I liked about them. But this was a self-sufficient community. They were cooperative. They basically depended and functioned based on their own rules and regulations. We are cooperative. And as a community, we are destined to success when we pull together all that we have, and each one of us takes an opportunity to be able to, become financially rewarded through donations. And when we focus our resources toward our community, the financial success is assured. If we aren't helping each other build and grow, then we just don't understand the power that we have. And that's what the Dynamic Trio is about. It's about crowdfunding. It's about showing each other, helping each other, taking whatever little bit amount that we have and donating it to someone else, which puts us now in a position to receive. And the more we donate on our platforms, the more you're qualified to receive. And it just goes on and on and on, and it circulates, goes into a circle. So it's like what we call compound, which continues over and over and over again. And that's what makes our model so powerful, and why it can last and last and last. Now, crowdfunding is the practice of funding a project or venture by raising monetary contributions from a large number of people, typically via the internet. President Barack Obama signed the Jobs Act into law on April 5, 2012. And the reason why he did this is because he realized what grassroots financially empowered programs can do for the community. He worked in grassroots programs. His campaign was successful because he utilized a grassroots campaign. The average campaign donation was $25. And he had millions and millions of, this man raised way over $10 million, way over. He did not have to take money from the big companies. He didn't have to take money from those super PACs because he wanted to be committed to the communities, to us, directly committed to the people that he was president over, that he felt highly responsible for creating a change, the people that needed the most change. So when he got into his presidency, he recognized that power, and he said, well, in order for this economy to change, because remember, he came into the presidency with the economy on a downward spiral. And what he did was he knew that it would take small businesses, a proliferation of small businesses, a lot of small businesses, in order to turn this country around. See, it's the small businesses that really give this country the juice that it needs to get back on top of the economy and start running at maximum efficiency. Small businesses. And so he knew that. And so what he did, he created a crowdfunding so that people could get access to the funds, because the banks wasn't going to give all those businesses loans. He knew that. People be turned down left and right. They're already being turned down left and right. And go to the bank, 85% of people are turned down for loans. They don't qualify. So how are you going to have all these businesses proliferating? Well, by them being able to what? Being able to pull together people and get donations and get enough money from the donations that they could become, build their, fund their finances and fund their projects or their dreams or their businesses, whatever you want to call them. And that's what we're doing. Now, Forbes magazine says that crowdfunding is the next big trend. You're right in the middle of this thing. And COVID virus is a confirmation of the importance of a system like crowdfunding, because people don't have the kind of money. Banks don't even have the kind of money to give out loans. They're not even giving out loans. They're not even giving out, so many people are not getting any aid anymore. So the key thing is people give little bits of money. Now in the campaigns, the political campaigns that are going on, they're asking for $5. Now it used to be that these processors wouldn't take that little bit of money because of the processing fees. $5 really wasn't worth the time of day. But now they take $5. Some of them take $1. Yes, sirree. Because of the condition of the state of affairs, of the way this country is in terms of the economy. So crowdfunding, and you get a whole bunch of people giving you $1. Now, if you double a penny, and we're going to take a look at that, what will happen then. You can become a millionaire or more in 30 days. I think it's more than a millionaire. You can become, you'll become a multimillionaire in 30 days if you double a penny. So now think about this. If you've got, let's say you've got 600 people, and 600 people connect with 600 people, and each one of these people gives you $1, and they continue giving you $1. Let's say 6 million people gives you $1. And when you're running a national campaign, 6 million people giving you, it's not unreasonable for 6 million people to send you donations on this ActBlue. ActBlue is the payment processor for donations. So imagine, so that's $1 times 6 million people, that's $6 million. Imagine they give you $5. 6 million people give you $5. That's $30 million. Now imagine they give you $10. So you could see that small amounts add up to a lot when there is a lot of people that send you the money. So the key is in the community that you have, in the organization that you have, and the outreach that you have. And when you set this up with our platform, you will not only see yourself receiving contributions one time, but you receive it over and over, what we call recurring contributions. Now, in these political campaigns now, what they ask you is, they'll ask you to give $5 a week. So if you got 6 million people, and I'm lowballing it because I know it's way more than 6 million people giving money to political campaigns. But if you had 6 million people giving you $5 every week, you're generating $30 million every week. And $30 million times times what, 4? That's $120 million a month. Well, that certainly is a good amount of revenue to run a campaign, I believe. But their people these days are getting more and more. So I'm just giving you these ideas because I want you to think about how things work. If you're able to put together a community, and sometimes it's what you call doubling, you talk about doubling a penny, we're talking about doubling people, duplicating yourself, and then doubling people, and people duplicating themselves, and doubling people. That's where crowdfunding becomes successful, because you see how the numbers can grow very quickly and become very expansive. And in our platform, we show you how you can grow an organization very deep and very wide. And when you do this, you can become a millionaire, or at least catapult yourself to becoming a millionaire. Either way, you're well on your way and far away from the economic poverty that has enslaved so many people. And for only a $70 one-time out-of-pocket donation, and then $29 every 28 days, you can experience this. Use our platforms to try out this scenario. And what we're going to do is show you how you can do this. Now, this is a disclaimer that I'm going to read to you first before I go any further. The following examples are for illustration purposes only and are not a guarantee of the contributions that you will receive. What a person receives is based on their individual work ethic and other factors that are beyond your control. Now, here's the plan. First of all, we got 3 platforms. Feed Me 247 is our entry platform. It's what we call our super feeder. And what it does is grow your crowd. Now, whenever you want to gain the interest of someone, get people to, and this is well known online in terms of marketing, whenever you want to get people to get their attention, or whether you wanted to get their information because you wanted to email them, or you wanted to get them to just be able to view a video or whatever, to give them something free. All right. So with Feed Me 247, we have a very powerful free gift that you can give to people. And that initiates this funnel system that's built into it that attracts and grows your crowd. Okay. And then the second thing that moves into and is pipelined to Fund Me 247, which is our free wealth builder. And I call it a free wealth builder because it's a free program for you to sign up to. And of course, in order for you to start earning, you got to be qualified and you have to be activated. And that requires a platform donation of $31. But the key is when they first start, they can be positioned without actually having to pay for that position yet. So those 2 platforms are integrated, Feed Me and Fund Me. So you're building an organization on 2 platforms at the same time. And that is powerful right there. And then it's pipelined to Infinity. And Infinity is what we call our exponential donations accelerator. because it speeds up the funds, the donations that you receive exponentially. By the time you get to that third leg, that third platform, you're already running at maximum speed. Think about a train riding down the track and it's at full speed ahead. You couldn't stop it if you wanted to. It has to progressively stop. But that's infinity. Think about that. Fund me 247 to infinity. You're on a train, and by that time, you're going full speed ahead. And the results that you get from that full speed ahead is powerful. That could put you into 4 and 5 figure receipts per week. We're going to show you how you can do that. So first of all, let's take a look at Feed Me 247. And Feed Me 247, as I said, is our super feeder. We have a separate website set up for it. And we on that website, we have a video which explains the program. And what happens is that we encourage people to get our free ebook about crowdfunding. Now is a really good time to talk about crowdfunding because people are looking for solutions, really looking for solutions. So if you can offer them a way that they can become financially self-sufficient, it would be a great, great help for them. So what you do is you have a card or a flyer or whatever, but it can be as simple as a card. And you put on that card your way to becoming financially free. And you can put that link, Feed Me 247, it said crowdfunding ebook free, take a read, and give it to them. You can put it in different places, leave it there. And people will pick it up and look at it and say, wow, financially free? I mean, I can pay my bills, I can pay my debts. Let me take a look at this, it's free. And they take it home and they look it up. Well, in order for them to look it up, they got to register first. Now you have their information. And then when they register, they go into the back office. The first step is it tells them to download that ebook. And that's where they start. They download that ebook. And then they go into the second step. After they read that ebook, then they say, and it talks to them. It's a very motivating read. It's only 12 pages. But once they read it, they're ready to move. And it's like, well, what? They talk about different platforms and they show them our platform, expose them to us and what we can do for them in the crowdfunding realm, and they're ready to go. And our system puts them right into Fund Me 247 step 2, free. And then the next step 3 is getting the marketing system so that you can introduce it to everyone else the same way that they became introduced to it. You can get your little card and put it on. They can get their little card and they can do the same thing and put it on there with, here's a way for you to be able to, change your life, become financially free, generate the money you need to pay your bills, and put their website on it and leave it around and let them build their crowd. This is called self-duplication. And when you put this model into application, it has a tendency to snowball. I can't think of a better word for it. You snowball and it grows and it grows and it grows to a huge crowd. If you do it the right way. And when you do it the right way, you want to do it so that the people could see what you've done and know that they can do it too. If they pick that card up off of a shelf in a grocery store, off of a table at a bake sale, or off of, one of the tables, one of the, at a bank, at the ATM or whatever. If they picked it up there and then they and go through the system and they say, I got this at this ATM, well, I could do the same thing. I picked this up off a table when I went and had lunch. I could do the same thing. I don't have to talk to anybody. I didn't talk to anybody to get this information or get to this website and sign up. It's called duplication. The easier it is, the faster the duplication process. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to make it complicated where you got to talk to people all the time. Now, some people, it's fine. Some people like to talk to people, and that's great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, nothing. And I would never discourage you from talking to people. But for those of you who don't want to talk to people, or those of you who don't have the outreach to get to other people, you don't know enough people, or you're shy, or you're not confident enough about talking about the 3 platforms dynamic trio, well, then use that process. Take a little card. You can print it in. You can get those card papers from Office Depot and print it out on your printer, or either have Office Depot print it on your printer. Or you can do it from Vistaprint, and some really nice looking cards, and put them out. You can even have drop cards. I have them made up. They look like a $100 bill folded up. These things work. I still have people calling me on this from these cards, 800 number. And I have on here, the road to financial wealth. Get on the right path to jumpstart your finances and realize your dreams. Call this number. And they call the number, and I have my website on it. It's called MakeLivingRicher.com. And these people, they go there. Just put them out. Don't worry about who's going to pick them up, who's not going to pick them up. Just put them out there and grow your crowd. That's the easiest way, I keep telling you. So if you don't know anybody, if you don't feel you can get to enough people, then you're going to want to use this, because the key is you want to have some kind of goal. Organize yourself. How many people do you want to reach a week? So let's say you want to get in front of at least 50 people a week. Well, how are you going to get in front of 50 people a week? People that you don't know. You be busy trying to find places to go, and then you'd be busy in parking lots trying to talk to people and everything. That's good if that's what you like to do. Some people do that very, very well. But what if you don't? Then what you can do is you can use these cards, and 50 people divided by 7 means that you get to 7.17 people a day. That's not a lot. So you put out at least 20 of these drop cards a day. Where you go to the gas station, stick it in where the credit card things go, or leave it on a counter in one superstore. Put it in on a shelf somewhere in the store inside the gas station. You got to go to the store, put it on one of the shelves in the store, put it on top of one of the canned goods in the store. You're going to go to post office, then leave it on the table where the post office forms are, where people fill it out in order to do different kinds of mailings. Okay, different forms are situated there. Leave some on there. Wherever you go, leave out just 20. So that means you might leave 2 in each place, and then you're gone. You're finished. Make a habit of leaving these every day. Make that your habit. You got to make new habits. If you want your business to grow, you got to have business habits. And one of your business habits got to be is utilizing these drop cards. I'm telling you, if you do, it's going to work. You're going to have some people that are going to go to your site and they're going to download, and you're going to start seeing people come in. So if you get these out and 50 people get it a week, you're going to get at least 2 or 3 people that will probably sign up. And so when you want to increase it, I used to do it when I was working for another multi-level marketing company. I used to put out at least about 100 a day, so that I had, by the end of the week, I had put out 700. While I was putting out my drop cards, my phone was ringing because I had it hooked. I had the 800 number hooked up to my cell phone, so that whenever somebody called that 800 number, it connected me and let me know that if someone was calling and left a message. That's how good those things work. The more you work those drop cards, the more you're going to receive. So that's a system that I always advise everyone. So with this free gift, you can always put on a card, free gift, boost your income. Here's a free gift. See how many people call that number. This is all different ways that you can draw people. You don't have to say a word. Okay, and even if you do talk to people, and while you have your flyers out there, you can also still work those drop cards as well. And so this is what we call about building, and this is a way of duplication. And your people have to have a way that they can duplicate you, because if they can't duplicate your success, then eventually they're going to lose momentum, and you're going to lose them. That's what's called attrition. People leave because they're not experiencing success. It's too hard. It's too difficult. They don't know, they don't understand the program. They don't know how to sell it, all that kind of stuff. Excuses come up. But if you give them a simple way to do something and they do it, you're going to see your entire organization grow exponentially. And that's where these platforms are going to take off for you. So I'm going to I want to talk about this duplicating yourself, and I want to see where it is. And we talked about leverage here, because this is, I don't know if you've ever read this book on How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that's by Dale Carnegie. He talks about employing the efforts of a team to accomplish a goal and a mission. They call this leverage. That means that you use a team to do the work, other than you just yourself, and you'll get a lot more done. When you have a team of people, you'll be able to accomplish a lot more. And so that's why I want to work with you about developing a team. You want to set daily goals. So you should have a journal. This is not the first time I mentioned this to you guys. You have to have some kind of records. Set your goals, your daily goals. Write down the results. So if you're committed and you do your daily goals, at the end of the day, write down what your results were. Did you contact those people and the daily goals? And if you did, what were the results? Did anybody respond or did they not respond? Doesn't matter if they did or didn't, but the point is you write it down. Keep good records is key, because when you want to see where your success is, how can you see your success, notice the difference, if you don't keep good records? You can depend upon your memory, because your memory doesn't capture those fine details and those points. But when you keep good records, when I look at my records at the end of the week, I look at my behavior, I look at my goals, I look at what I'm able, what I accomplished, because I write down at the beginning of the week what I have to do. And then by the end of the week, I'm looking back over that list to see how much of it I accomplished. And then that tells me how efficient I've been. Okay. And that also tells me when I can look at the day and know whether I did what I was supposed to do. If I missed a day and then I could see the results at the end of the week, then I understand what happens when you don't follow your own protocol. So that's important. Keep good records. And the other thing is to build upon accomplishments weekly. And I talked about that. But also what you want to do is after you, let's say if you have two, you say, well, I want to reach out for at least 2 or 3, let's say 3 people a day. And you do pretty good. It gets to the point where it's easy for you to reach those 3 people. And I'll tell you, it'll get easier. You know why? Because your organization is going to get busy and somebody's going to call you up and say, can you do a 3-way with me and talk to this person about Dynamic Trio? And then you'll be in 3 ways with your people. You'll be talking to other people, 4 people, and your organization will be growing. You see, because you are helping your people duplicate themselves, duplicate you, and you are helping them. And then you talk to your own people. Now you're seeing your productivity level go up. So you build upon your accomplishments weekly. That means the next week you say, well, it's pretty easy for me to talk to 3 people. I did that. I'm looking at my records. I actually talked to 5 and 6 people a couple of days this week. Let me beef up my quota and make it, instead of 3, let me make it to 5. And every day I'll try to reach out for 5. That's build upon your accomplishments weekly. And you keep doing that 5 and 5 and 5 every day until it's easy for you to reach out and get to those 5. Then the next week or the week after, however long it takes you, 2 weeks later, get to say, well, wow, okay, now I'm at that 5 real easy. Let me boost it up to 7. Let me tell you something. When you take 1 step, God takes 2. When you put your effort out there, put your hand to the plow, and you start plowing through your garden, you're going to find out you got help. And it'll start to be fun. It'll start to be very productive because all of a sudden you're going to be, and you might be introduced to some people, and some people may even call you and say, I like this program. Well, I got 3 or 4 girlfriends that are interested. Could you come over to my house and talk to us? Now you can hit, your quota in 1 day with 1 party or 1 group presentation. Just a variety of things. But if you just try, just start someplace, then you're going to find that you're going to get the support that you need in order for you to become successful. So today, what I've talked about is more or less strategy. Because we've got to talk about strategy, folks. If you don't have strategy and organization, then you're not going to see the results that you want in anything. But as you want to duplicate yourself, let's take a look and see what doubling a penny, 1 little penny will do. Because in this duplication, we're also doubling your money on our platforms called compounding. And let's look at the power of doubling a penny.
Reach their fortunes. In order to do this, I want you to pretend that I can grant you 1 wish from 2 choices. Choice 1 is this: I will give you $1 million. Or choice 2 is that you get 1 cent that doubles every day for 31 days. On top of that, you have to drive 1 hour north to meet a friend of mine named Vendela. She will double your cent and give you 2 cents, and then you have to drive all the way back home. Then on day 2, you take your 2 cents back to Vendela, and she doubles your 2 cents and gives you 4 cents, and then you drive back. Well, you do this every day for 31 days. Which would you choose? $1 million or 1 cent doubled every day? Well, as a factory worker, it wasn't even a contest. $1 million for me, please. Who wants to run around for pennies? Here is where we find out that ignorance is not bliss. If you have a calculator, you can follow along and check it out for yourself. In day 1, you have 1 cent. Day 2, you double it and you have 2 cents. Day 3, you double it, you get 4 cents. That doubles and becomes 8 cents, and by the 10th day, you'll have $5.12. How embarrassing if you took the penny a day. Let's look at the 11th day. $5.12 doubles and becomes $10.24, then it doubles and becomes $20.48, and then it doubles and becomes $40. And in the 20th day, that doubles and becomes $5,242.88. Well, it's still not looking too good if you chose the penny. But what happens in the 21st day? 5,000 doubles and becomes 10,000, 10 doubles and becomes 20, and on the 28th day, $671,000 doubles and becomes $1.3 million. But wait a minute, we didn't agree to 28 days. We agreed to 31 days. And so on the 29th day, 1.3 doubles becomes 2.6 million. And 30th day, 2.6 million becomes 5.3 million. And in the final day of our agreement, day 31, $5,368,709.12 doubles, which is $10,737,418.20. Now who's laughing all the way to the bank? This is what the smartest man in the world, Albert Einstein, said when he was asked what he thought was one of the most powerful things on earth. He said that the 8th wonder of the world was compound interest. And so here's how we can make compound interest work for you.
Okay, so now you see this scenario.
Reach their fortunes. In order.
That's really the key to this doubling a penny is when you reach is the critical point. Okay, at a certain time, I think they said when you reach day 20, that critical point is where you start seeing the acceleration go much faster, much bigger, and like it just takes off, called exponential, or like power to the square. Okay, squared. Okay, so basically that's really how infinity plan works. It is a critical point. And when you reach a critical point, then that's when, and that critical point is level 5. And I have an example here. You've got, let's say you have 8 members that are direct to you. And these people that are direct to you, each one of them has 4 all the way down 5 levels. Okay, so that's 4 all the way, 4, 4, 4, 4, all the way down 5 levels. That comes to, on the first level, you'll have 6 people that is coded to you. On the second level, you'll have 12 people that are coded to you. On the third level, you'll have 24 people coded to you. On the fourth level, you have 48 people coded to you. And on the fifth level, you have 96 people that are coded to you. Look at that 5. That's 96 people coded to you. So how much is that? That's $30 for the first level, $60 for the second level, $120 for the third level, $240 for the fourth level, $480 for the fifth level. And this totals to $930 for the week. Now I jumped up here over talking about Fund Me 247, and I went directly to Fund Me to Infinity because that's where this double a penny action is more embedded right here in this Infinity plan. The critical point is level 5. That's where you reach 4 level income, $1,410. That is the cumulative value of $930 plus $480 matching bonus brings you $1,410 per week. Now, this number, if you have down 5 levels, next week you should double it. You should be at 5 level, definitely at 5 down. Double the results of this again. And that means you might be down 10 levels or reaching 10 levels. But these numbers are not going to be the same. This 6, 12, 24, 48, 96, it'll double itself because the people are going to at least get 2 each. So those numbers are going to double themselves. And that's when you're going to see your exponential acceleration. That's why we call it the exponential, accelerator, because of the fact that when you get to a certain point and these numbers just double themselves, you're going to see this weekly donation spiral way up there. So you're going to go to $1,410 to 28 to I say $1,410 and might be up to $2,800 the next week, or it may be up to $4,200 something. The next week it's going to go up and it's going to start going faster and faster. The bigger this number gets, the deeper you go, the bigger this number is going to get. So by the time you get to 11, you're going to be at $1 million status by the time you get down to level 11. And so in the meantime, your journey, and you see these people grow and grow, and it can happen if you do the duplication process properly. You can do this. You can do it with a penny. It just looks like it's just almost ridiculous, and it's almost hard for our brain to fathom us being able to reach, $10 million day 31 from a penny. How? And how can we double ourselves? How can we get to a certain point where we can double ourselves like that so that we can reach those critical points, and then those numbers take us like it takes you with the wind. Just happens on its own. You've set it into action once it reaches that critical point. So you work hard to get to that critical point, and then it moves on off by itself. That's how you can become a millionaire. So with all of our 3 platforms, we've got, as I talked about, Fund Me to Infinity, and we've got I talked about Feed Me to Infinity, and we've got Fund Me to Infinity. This thing right here takes off by itself. It just zooms. You know why it takes off by itself? Because you're building a crowd with Feed Me 247. You do your work on Feed Me 247, like I told you, duplicating yourself, getting your crowd set up, and getting everybody with their input, getting everybody with their 2, and duplicating themselves. You're going to see this thing fly. You can generate thousands of dollars a day. These platforms are no joke. But what you've got to be able to do is put the effort and the energy into starting it off and getting it moving. It's the same thing about a car. Well, nowadays, a car, you can get in the car and start it up, put the pedal to the metal, and it'll move up to 100 speed in no time, miles per hour in no time. But it used to be, well, when you're in a car, when you get in it, you had to gradually work up to that speed of 50, 80 miles an hour, But with this, you can zoom right on up because you've got your crowd moving in. It's your crowd that pushes you up, that lifts you up. It's your community. And the more that you give, the more that you receive. Look at this. When you start off in the silver tier, You're going to receive $12.50 from each member, okay, that has been activated and landed in this tier. That's $12.50 times 6. That's not a lot of money, okay, but it's a start. Well, once those people start flowing through, you're going to be filling up tier, and then you're going to complete this tier, then you're going to fill up, you're going to get a new tier, you're going to fill that tier up, you're going to get a new tier. You know how many tiers you can move in a day? I've moved, when it was when we first started out, I moved about 5 tiers in a day. Easy. You can do it. And then you can move up with the funds that's in your cash wallet. You see $75. You can move up based on you donating to somebody else that's already in the upper level. Go donate $50 to them so you can qualify now and receive $25 on the gold level for people coming behind you. There's a lot of people who are wanting to complete their tiers. They're going to be going up to gold. So they're going to be giving you $25 again. First they gave you $12.50, then they're going to come behind you and give you $25 so they can qualify to get gold. And then you're going to take that money, $150 that you generate from your gold tier getting filled, and you're going to donate $100 to someone in the emerald line, and you're going to now be qualified to receive $50 donations from 6 people in your emerald tier. And that goes on until you get up to the crown tier. And once you get to the crown tier, you're qualified to receive $200, I'm sorry. $400 is what it cost you to qualify for that. But $200 now you're going to receive after you donate $400 to someone on your crown level. You're qualified now to receive $200 times 6. So that's $1,200. Now that's one go round, you will have received $2,325 in donations. You will have only given out of this $775. So now you're not spending all your money trying to move up through these levels, because you've got $1,500 net profit right there. And that's not really not a true number, because you're still compounding on all of these tiers. Simultaneously, all of them are compounding while you have reached these different levels. And it continues to compound over and over again. It's called leveraging, compounding over and over and over again. And now compounding is what is going to really make you some very good money. So I generated, over $3,000. And I mean, that was in, I think, about 3 weeks' time. You can do that when people are flowing through in your organization. So I'm talking to you about these platforms in such a way today that hopefully you'll be able to understand the power, how to work it, and how to receive the maximum from it. You've got to work your plan. Plan how you're going to work it, and then work that plan and do it. Don't give yourself goals that are hard for you to reach so that you get discouraged. Set yourself with small goals and then gradually build up to it, because when you start, I guarantee you, you're going to be surprised at the help that you're going to get. The key is going to be consistency. You got to be consistent, okay? And in that consistency, that's when you're going to develop that momentum, and you're going to go forward, and you're going to see the kind of results that you want. So what I want to ask each and every one of you to do is to create your own drop cards or get your drop cards done, there is in your back office, there are some drop cards, a place that you can get drop cards done. And you can get them printed out. I don't know what's happening here. And do them over, and send them out and to establish, get your momentum rolling, okay? So drop cards, flyers is the way. Now I'm gonna tell you what my plan is. Me and Mark talked about this. We talked about this, the power of 10. So what I'm going to do and what Mark is doing is we are selecting 10 people to be on our team. Now I selected these people a while ago, but I didn't get moving on because I got inundated with some other things. Now I'm back to it again. So I select my team of 10, then each person in that team selects their team of 10 and let it continue flowing on down. And that's how you be able to very quickly duplicate yourself. That's what I'm doing. That's maybe some people, maybe you can't do 10. Some people can only do 2. Do the same thing. You get your 2. Now each person is charged with getting their 2, and you keep that rolling. But me and Mark said we were going to do to the power of 10 and really create that momentum and building our organization. And now also we have, as part of our community, we have a partner in our community called 14 Eagles. The facilitator is Brian Frazier. And I know most of you know who he is because I think most of you go to the call on Thursday, and I need to get offline here because the call is being about 3 minutes. And I want to advise you guys to, as you bring, we have partnered with them because we have very similar principles. We may have different platforms, but very similar principles in developing the community. This is a gifting community. And just with a simple $6 outlay, you can start a snowball effect with there as well. And so we always try to encourage people with our dynamic trio to get all 3 platforms at one time. But even if you're not able to, even if you start with the Feed Me 247 platform at $10, you can add to it the gifting community at $6, and you can have a double in terms of snowballing effects. So we want to encourage you to check out 14 Eagles and get a chance to check out the website, which is www.14eaglesden.com. Okay? And so I'm going to stop right here and see if there are any questions or any comments.
Carolyn, while we wait on somebody to say something, what I've been trying to show, if everybody can see it, the drop cards that you're referring to, one of them, we got 2 different kinds. But you see the information on there?
Yes. Awesome. You did not
And
find this bill. Yeah, that's the one. That's one. Yeah.
And then the other side.
Yeah, and then it looks exactly like a $100 bill when it's on the ground or sitting on something.
Yeah, like when you fold it up.
Yeah.
Drop this on the floor, and people look funny, and then they kind of ease down and pick it up. And then what it says that to make this bill real, go to, and it goes to my website. And it says, follow the money. It says, you did not find this bill, it found you. Listen to a 4-minute message. It has an 800 number on there. See the 800 number on there?
Yep, that's right.
So that's what, that's what the illustrious Kelly McTush put together. And it works. So anybody else have a comment, they can make it now. I'm done.
Or if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask a question, or either if you're on the phone, you can dial *6.
This is James, Carl, and Mark. As always, I just want to thank y'all for the work that you're doing in front of us, and I know I can only imagine what you're doing behind the scenes. So greatly appreciate the work that y'all doing. I would say week by week, but I'm gonna say day by day.
Yes.